Hello guys, check this out. Enemies just ignore you. It's kinda like being invisible, but you can shoot. It's a GM and this champion is focused on your decoy. It's like having another player to be the punching bag of the team. And by the way, this final warning sidearm, it's really good. It's a master loss sector and it's doing so much damage. No surges, nothing. Quickly becoming one of my favorite hunter builds. You throw a tangle and it transforms in a green cyclone damaging everything in its path. Lots of unravel damage, and the best part, enemies are not shooting at you or your team. They are shooting at your decoy. I've been using this build for the last couple of days and I notice people are dying less than normal, and I'm sure that the decoy is helping the team with a lot of survivability because you can't die if they don't shoot at you. So unless it's a jumping puzzle, this is really good. The bases of this build are very simple. Dodging creates your decoy and tangles will create the cyclone. So let's maximize this the best we can in order to have your decoy when you want and to generate a lot of tangles. The exotic, or in this case exotics of choice, are 6 Coyote or Foe Tracer. For 6 Coyote, it gives you 2 dodges. That means you will have your decoy when needed more consistently. But you can choose Foe Tracer. Only 1 dodge. It's really fast, so not that big of a deal, but when you damage a target with an ability, in this case Strand, you will do 25 more damage with your Strand weapons for the short duration. So it's strong. Myself, I went with 6 Coyote because I prefer the consistency it gives me. But guys, it's kinda the same build for both, so pick your poison. I can't stress how much fun this is. Look at this. There's a player on the left side at the bridge encounter on Crota. Pick a tangle, throw the tangle to his side. See all those numbers? It's the cyclone killing everything. You don't even need to go there. You just throw help. And then there's the unravel damage. You see all those, I call it green nanites, just flying around and doing damage to nearby targets. It helps so much and it's really cool to see. And if you want to revive someone, just create your decoy. Enemies will focus on your decoy and you can safely revive players. It's really good. So let's check how we built this to be very strong. On your class ability, I was using Marksman Dodge because I just wanted the decoy as fast as I could, but you can go Gambler's Dodge. It will take a couple of seconds longer, but it will give you a melee back when you dodge near an enemy, so it's really strong. And with your grenade, you can use all of them. No, it doesn't matter. I'm using Shackle Grenade because I want that capability to stop unstoppable champions. You can go with your grapple, amazing, or with Threadling Grenade because they'll do a lot of damage because we have that mod that make them do more damage, so it's up to you. Because I was doing GMs, I went with Shackle Grenade. Now, on our aspects, let's start with Threaded Spectre. This is the one that allows us to do our decoy. So basically, when we do our dodge, when we activate our class ability, it leaves behind the decoy that draws the attention of nearby combatants. And when it takes significant damage, or when combatants approach, the decoy detonates, dealing damage and releasing Threadlings. It releases 2 Threadlings that seek out and attack nearby foes. And on our second aspect, Whirling Maelstrom. When we destroy a tangle, it will leave a violent mass of strand fibers. Basically, it's that cyclone we see, that Beyblade, some people call it Beyblade. And it does a ton of damage, it tracks enemies, it clears waves of enemies, it's really, really strong, and it unravels targets. So it's good, guys. It's very, very good. And on our fragments, I went with Thread of Warding. When you pick an orb of power, it gives you woven mail, so you get 55 damage resistance. I went with Thread of Transmutation. When you have woven mail, weapon final blows will create entangle, so we will create tons of tangles. Thread of Generation, dealing damage generates grenade energy, so we will have our grenade faster. And Thread of Evolution, threadlings travel farther and deal additional damage. So our threadlings, even though it's not a threadling build, when we have them on the field, they will do more damage. Guys, this is very, very strong, and there's a ton of synergy. As you can see, you pick up an orb and you start everything. You get your woven mail, you'll start generating your tangles. Even your tangles will generate tangles because those cyclones will unravel targets. And even though there's a tangle cooldown, it's not that big, so as soon as that cooldown goes away, it shows on the left side of your screen. There will always be a way to kill enemies, so very, very strong build. And let's check the artifact, guys. Let's start with From Whence You Came. It increases ability damage to taken and scored combatants. So your ability damage will do 5% more damage against scored and taken. Wished into being. While your super is nearly fully charged, when you do an ability final blow, it will spawn orbs of power that will top up your super. And Dragon's Bite. When you break a shield's combatant with the strand weapon, it also works for stasis, but in this case we want strand, it will have a chance to suspend the combatant. So it's nice. It won't happen all the time, but it's nice to be there. Overload rocket launchers. So basically you will do a ton of damage to overloads, and now you have the capability with this build to stop all champions. With your Sidearm for the anti-barriers, with the Checkle Grenade for unstoppables, and with your rocket for overloads. And on the top, Unraveling Orbs. Picking up an orb of power grants strand weapons unraveling rounds. It's really good, so it's a strand debuff. And Horde Shuttle. Damaging unravel targets with a weapon occasionally spawns a threadling, so you'll have more threadlings on the field. As you can see, when we pick up an orb, it gives us so much. And we're gonna generate those orbs using strand weapons. And the strand weapons I recommend is Final Warning. Such an amazing sidearm. I had no idea how strong it was. I've been playing with it for a while now, and it's really, really good. And you can use Wishkeeper as well if you like. Amazing weapon, amazing utility. I love it. So let's finish with our mods, guys. On our helmet, I went with 2 Harmonic Siphon, so that's how we're gonna generate tons of orbs. And Dynamo. When we dodge near a combatant, it gives us super back. On our gloves, we went with Harmonic Loader, so you have faster reload for your strand weapons. It helps if you're using Wishkeeper, it helps a lot. And Font of Vigor. I want my melee faster, so this font will help. It will give us 30 points on strength when we get an Orb of Power. And Focusing Strike. It will give us class ability when we cause damage with our power melee. And guys, don't forget this. When you throw your threaded spike. If you catch it, if you press the button while it's arriving to you, you'll get energy back. Sometimes you get full energy, so it's a bit tricky, but it helps a lot. On our chest in the exotic of choice, the 6 Coyote, again, very simple exotic. It simply says gain a second dodge charge, but this will help a lot with consistency. And we're using 1 resistance for each, 1 solar, 1 arc, 1 void. I always do the same for my builds. If you want to double stack one, of course you should, but for general gameplay, just 1 each, it'll be fine. On our boots, I went with recuperation. When you get that orb, you also get health. I went with font of agility. It will give me 30 points on mobility. That's why my mobility is on 70, is on purpose. So when I get charge, it will be 100. And because I'm using 6 Coyote, I'm using Strand Weapon Surge. So it will give me 10% more damage on Strand Weapon. So that cap for Foe Tracer is a little bit less. On our class item, I went with Bomber. I was using Shackle Grenade for GM, so I get grenade faster. Reaper, when you dodge, if you do a weapon kill in 10 seconds, you will generate an Orb of Power. In Proximity Ward, you get the powerful overshield while you're doing a finisher. And guys, this is the build. Hope you like it. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and well, I'll see you in the next one. Say something nice in the comments.